Now that all of the major contenders have been released, it's time to decide which modern VR headset is the king.
In 2050, the robots have taken all of our jobs. The robots were kind enough to put together this job simulator so that humans could remember what it was like to job.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're pitting the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, and the PlayStation VR against each other to determine which device is the superior virtual reality headset.
I don't give a monkey's what Frank thinks about you. I don't trust you.
To determine the winner, we're going to go through 5 distinctive rounds and list off the pros and cons of each device in the respective category and give 1 point to the winner. The best of 5 rounds wins. Let the games begin.
Wow. Blasting it. Whoa.
Round 1, launch price. How much does the future cost? Quite a lot, it turns out.
It was honestly like a dream come true.
The Vive is the first up and starts the round off with a head shaker of a price. This device launched in April of 2016 for an astounding $799 American dollars. And while that included some great technology, it was a price point far out of reach for the average consumer.
Yep. $800. Let's open it up and see what's going on inside. I'm excited.
This price includes 2 controllers, the Vive itself, and the Vive's signature light boxes. And while it may have included more accessories than the others, it is by far the most expensive right out of the box. While the Vive may be a good product, its price point surely scared off a lot of potential customers.
Yeah, more cords, HDMI cords, USB cords, power cords.
The Oculus Rift comes next at a more modest, yet still slightly unreasonable asking price of $599 American bucks. This included the Rift, a sensor, a mini remote, and an Xbox One controller.
The trackpad thing is a little weird. I've also got my weird fingerprints all over it.
While it's a little more enticing than the mammoth $799 price tag of the Vive, $599 is still a large chunk of change. Finally, we have the PlayStation VR, which was touted as the everyman's virtual reality device. Its price point reflected this distinction, as it was released with a much more modest $399 price tag. This did not include the necessary PlayStation camera, which comes at an extra $60, or the Move controllers. However, for an extra $100, you could buy a PSVR bundle, which includes the aforementioned accessories and a game, which is always a nice bonus.
We also have the PlayStation VR demo disc, which is cool. It does contain some additional demos that highlight what the VR can do.
There is, however, one further hidden cost with the HTC Vive and Oculus Rift, as they both require a really powerful PC to run. And if you don't already have one, you're looking at a minimum of around $1,200 for a VR-ready rig, whereas the PS4, at the time of writing, currently retails for about $300, easily making the PSVR the most affordable option for the average consumer. Winner, PlayStation VR.
So all you've got to do is walk in, get the diamond, and walk out again.
Round 2, tracking technology and immersion.
Run! I couldn't.
Virtual reality wouldn't really be anything without a great sense of immersion, and these devices do a decent job at it. The HTC Vive's increased price point definitely comes in handy here, as the device comes with the aforementioned light boxes, which are placed around the playing area and act as sensors to match the game with your body movement.
What's most exciting about the Vive is that it gives us that creative opportunity to break the rules and make new rules.
This means not only can you move your head, but you can also walk around in a virtual space, and even some physical movements will be replicated by your in-game persona. However, this comes at a price, literally, and this requires a large enough playing area to properly set up, meaning anyone with a small living room or playing area is basically SOL. If you can manage the price and have a space to do it, it's really a blast and definitely worth trying though.
I don't have anywhere in my apartment I could use it.
The Oculus Rift provides a much more standard and typical gaming experience. As we mentioned previously, the device comes with an Xbox One controller, and this is because you'll be doing most of your playing on that.
Oh dude, oh shit, oh my god.
While further accessories are on the way, including their own version of light boxes and movement controllers, it was just a regular old Xbox controller at launch. The Rift encourages you to remain seated at all times and control your character via the Xbox controller, which unfortunately limits the immersion experience and makes it feel more like a virtual video game than real virtual reality. Still cool, but definitely not as cool.
I'm off the game. I'm off this game. I'm off this game. I'm off this game. He don't move.
The PSVR follows in the same vein, as you can either use your typical DualShock controller or those silly move things. While some games implement interesting ways to use the controller, like taking a drag on a cigar and actually blowing out smoke on screen, it remains a fairly typical video game experience. While they're all definitely a blast, there's no denying the wondrous joy and immersion that the Vive offers. For a higher price, players can actually feel like they're in a virtual world, complete with head and body movements. It actually feels like virtual reality and the next generation of technology, rather than just another video gaming gimmick. Winner, HTC Vive.
A new era of reality has arrived. Experience the freedom of VR without boundaries.
Round 3, design. While the Vive may be the most powerful device of the bunch, it comes at the sacrifice of comfort. The visor is absolutely gargantuan and looks like something straight out of a science fiction movie, so to be honest, you look a little ridiculous while you're wearing it.
You can't really go back and look at games the same way you did before.
It is also by far the bulkiest and heaviest of the 3 devices, and while you may grow accustomed to it as you become immersed in the stellar visual world the device provides, it's daunting upon the first glance.
You're gonna be wearing this a lot, you're gonna be sweating a little bit. You're actually moving in these games.
Getting an exact fit is also more of a drawn-out experience than it should be due to the Velcro straps, and a myriad of cords are required to hook up the Vive to the PC, meaning you might be a tangled mess by the time you finally get to gaming.
Opportunities to send humans virtually into unsafe spaces.
The Oculus Rift may also look a little ridiculous to outside viewers, but there's no denying that it's more comfortable than the bulky Vive.
Yeah, I can't do this.
However, there's some dense foam on the faceplate and on the back of the straps, so even if it is a snug fit, it's at least comfy. The Rift also comes with easily adjustable Velcro straps and 3D surround sound ear pads, which will definitely help the immersion factor once again.
Oh, thank goodness that's over.
While the other devices may look a tad silly, the PSVR looks much more modern and welcoming. The black and white control scheme gives the device a slick modern look, and the front-facing blue lights look nice as well as provide functionality to the headset. Rather than the Velcro straps of the other 2 devices, Sony went with a single matte strap that wraps around your head, which is much nicer than Velcro as it's far more seamless, comfortable, and adjustable. The thick cushion also holds your head in place nicely, so the device isn't slipping and sliding as the other 2 devices are wont to do.
And then you put it over your head, and then you can make fine adjustments with this little wheel right here.
Sony also has displaced the weight of the device to the top of your head, so there's far less pressure felt on your face than with the Rift and the Vive. Winner, PlayStation VR.
Easy.
Round 4, controllers. At launch, the Vive was the only device released with custom-built motion controllers, which is indisputably a plus.
Most experiences are based around a pair of motion controllers that fit in your hands like remote controls.
Each controller has a touchpad and a trigger, and they don't look like anything else on the market, which gives a positive edge to the Vive's originality and design. They work very well in terms of tracking hand movements, they're comfortable, easy to use, and they add a great sense of immersion to the games that a simple, old-school controller simply can't compete with.
Yes! I'm flying through the sky!
Speaking of old-school controllers, this is exactly what comes with the Rift, and to say that it's a bit disappointing would be kind of an understatement. As we said before, the Rift shipped at launch with a regular Xbox controller, and while there is certainly nothing wrong with the controller itself, it really has no place in virtual reality.
No! What? No!
VR is meant to be encompassing and immersive in terms of physical movement, so sitting on a chair and playing with an Xbox controller makes the Rift seem more like a tech gimmick than a legit form of virtual reality. The Rift does have dual motion controllers like the Vive coming post-launch, though they do come with a rather hefty $199 price tag.
Full game controller just sort of seems weird. So this is exactly why they included the remote.
The PSVR is exactly similar to the Rift, although not quite as disappointing to the same degree. The PSVR ships with a standard DualShock 4 wireless controller, and as we said, with the Rift, playing virtual reality with a standard video game controller seems almost sacrilegious.
It's a setup cobbled together from various pieces of Sony hardware.
However, you can also buy, either separately or through a bundle, a pair of PlayStation Move controllers. These work very well for certain games, as it provides the device with the necessary sense of immersion. However, these controllers look a bit silly, and the technology is a little dated, as these were first released way back on the PS3 during the Wii motion controller phase.
Feels limited compared to the Vive controllers, Oculus Touch, or sometimes even a regular gamepad.
They never really took off back then, and while they definitely provide a better sense of fun than the Rift, they simply aren't as modern or as slick looking as the Vive controllers. Winner, HTC Vive.
When everything works, the Vive is the best experience you can have in VR right this minute.
Round 5, games. There's nothing like a few good launch titles to get the systems moving. Unfortunately, as is usually the case with system launches, most of the titles on all 3 systems are complete simplistic crap, so we're gonna highlight the few exclusive standouts. The HTC Vive is unique as it's the only system with access to the Steam distribution portal, meaning it has the largest amount of VR-optimized titles. Games like the Brookhaven Experiment, Vanishing Realms, and Island 359 are fun experiences, but they're still in early access and have a long way to go. "2017 looks to blow the VR world wide open, as the Vive will host VR versions of Fallout 4 and Doom. Something we've all definitely been looking forward to, but we'll have to reserve judgment until we see those. The Rift lacks the access to Steam content, but at the time, this is not really a huge loss for the device. That said, it's not exactly as if the Oculus Rift's games are setting the world abuzz either. Some games like Chronos and Edge of Nowhere are good fun, but the system lacks a real killer app. There are simply no Halos or Uncharted's to be found here.
Let go of me! Get out of my head!
Finally, we come to the PSVR, and its everyman persona definitely comes through in the games department. Titles like Batman Arkham VR and Until Dawn Rush of Blood are decent titles, while Res Infinite is a definite must-play title. Furthermore, these games are actually fun, which is, kind of the purpose of games. Admittedly, it's definitely not a stellar lineup, but it's by far the best option for the three as of now. Winner, PlayStation VR. While this essentially became a two-horse race between the Vive and the PSVR, the latter of those two is by far the most comfortable and affordable. While it may not be as powerful as the two PC-based headsets, the fact that it has a stronger library of games, as of now, gives it the final edge.
Take, for example, Super Hypercube, a game where you have to look around virtual reality and rotate three-dimensional objects to fit through a series of holes.
So, what are your thoughts on the new VR hardware? And which device is your favorite? Be sure to debate in the comments and subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
This is actually really scary and weird. I don't like it. What is this? What is this? There's a demon here.